Okay. Next one. Sorry, my last meeting ran over. What happened to traffic in Cincinnati anyway? It used to take 10 minutes to get from point A to point B. We ready?
Something about that.
Justin, you ready? All right. Yes. I keep forgetting my height here, even though I think I'm going to leave it permanently here. Thank you all for coming today. I just unplugged one of your microphones. Here we go. All right. Thank you all for coming today. I know everybody's been interested in our unidentified person cases, and in particular this one on November 6th. A body was discovered, and you've all been following that particular case. And then last Wednesday, a head was discovered, and as I promised, we were going to be doing some forensic testing on the head to determine if it was connected to the body that had been discovered on November 6th. And we did receive DNA confirmation that the head does belong to the body that was discovered on November 6th. So again, what we know about this victim is that she was female, probably approximately 5'1", in the range of 120 to about 110 to about 120 pounds. We have been consulting with a forensic anthropologist and a forensic odontologist since the head was discovered. There's a little bit of a debate over her age, possible age. We're increasing the age group that we're looking for to from late 20s, early 30s to maybe early 50s, although we still feel like she's probably on the younger end of that age range. So the good thing is that we've been able to connect or tie the head to the body that was discovered and put to rest all of those rumors about a serial killer and multiple body parts and multiple bodies around Hamilton County. That is not the case. But we still don't know who this lady is. So we really need the public's help in trying to discover her identity. So again, holidays just happened. If there's somebody that you were expecting to see that you didn't see, family member, neighbor, friend, I mean, what we know is she was somebody's daughter. She was very likely somebody's mother, and she could have been somebody's sibling, cousin, aunt. So we're trying to widen the search outside of our area as well. Cincinnati Police and FBI last Wednesday with Buckeye Search and Rescue were the ones that actually discovered the head, and we're very grateful for our law enforcement partners. They've been critical in every aspect of this case and what we've been doing. And so we've been talking to Steve Saunders here about all of the help that we've received from CPD and, again, FBI. So this was kind of a team effort. And one of the great things about Hamilton County and the southwest region of Ohio is the tremendous law enforcement partnerships that we all enjoy and the relationships we enjoy and share information. So I think that keeps all of us in this community safer because we are sharing that information. So I'll open it up to you, Steve, if you'd like to say anything.
Dr. I really don't have anything else to add. We're still an active, ongoing investigation, so that's where.
Do you want to talk about continuing the search that we're going to be doing over the next few weeks?
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Sammarco. So we're going to just continue to search that area where we did locate some evidence, which is critical, and keep that commitment to finding answers for this woman and her family and the community as a whole. So we appreciate Dr. Sammarco, everybody here at the Hamilton County Lab. It's a great partnership. Also with the State of Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, our evidence response team was critical in our searching last week, and Buckeye Search and Rescue with their dogs as well. So that's the goal, is to continue to search, to find answers, and then identify who this woman is, and hopefully determine what exactly happened to her and who's responsible for that.
I do want to add one more thing. You met the forensic artist with BCI when we had a press conference with Attorney General Yost just a couple of months ago, and we will be reaching out to her. We did do a CT scan of the head and the body here in our office, and so we have a data set of images that we'll be able to provide her. And from my last conversation with her, that's going to be helpful for them in trying to digitally reconstruct her face. And hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have maybe a digital image of a woman that we could share with you, that's somebody that that we would be looking for. Any questions?
Were the remains in a condition to be helpful, or were they more skeletal, or?
Well, as you can imagine, the head had been in the woods for, we approximate, 2 months, a little over 2 months. So there was definitely some evidence of decomposition, but the remains were in good enough condition that we were able to get a lot of information off of the head, yeah.
Did you man ever get anything that would lead you to a suspect or any kind of forensic clues about who might have done this? Anything that you recovered?
We're always looking for information on the remains that we have, and certainly imaging, just CT imaging of the head, even before our forensic pathologist did a detailed examination of the head, we got a lot of information off the head that we'll be pursuing. As far as identity of the perpetrator or the victim, we don't have either at the moment.
Anything in terms of a cause of death? I know we had this dismemberment, but that may have nothing to do with the cause of death.
We do have a pretty good idea of the cause of death. At the moment, I don't want to put that out there because we are still doing some more testing, and I think it's going to be critical to discover who this might be, so I think we're just going to have to withhold that information until we have a little bit more.
Can we clarify the age again, please? What we're thinking, I know it's a pretty large range.
Yes, it is a large range. We started off saying we think that she was in her maybe late 20s, early 30s, or maybe even into lower 40s, and with the opinion of the forensic anthropologist and the opinion of the forensic odontologist, we've kind of increased that age to maybe early 50s.
Now, last week there was another search group that went out to look. I understand that, crucial evidence has been found throughout these months since the torso was first found. Can you touch on anything that was found last week? I mean, we were out there, we saw them place several evidence markers. Anything that you can say that was found last Friday?
Well, what I would say is if you want information as to the death scene and the victim and particulars, it's best to talk to somebody from my office because you may be provided with misinformation from somebody else that you may have to retract in the future. At the moment, I can tell you that other things were found related to also body parts, but again, specific information we'd like to withhold at this time.
Can you talk about the state of these body parts? Were they found clothed, unclothed? Do you have clothing and or other items that belong to this woman?
We do not have clothing, but a head was discovered last week and no clothing or jewelry on the head.
And can you tell us why was it that 2 months passed before the head was found? Were searches going on for those 2 months?
So at the initial search and the weeks after, they widened the search to a certain degree. The head was found one more street beyond where the initial search widening had stopped. So the plan was always to go back and continue and widen the search along with CPD and FBI and the Buckeye Search and Rescue and the other law enforcement partners. The timing was such that, with the holidays and the weather, just to try and get the whole team out there again was a little difficult, and that's why there was some time in between when we were trying to figure out where to widen the search. Do you go east, west, south, and how to expand that search? Because as you'll probably notice, it was a steep wooded area that was searched this time, And so, getting a team out there makes it a little bit more difficult.
Does it appear that whoever left these remains there purposely separated the remains, or could it have been an animal that carried one part to another area, or do you have any indication?
Well,
of any?
we're treating this as a homicide case, and we believe that the body was purposely dismembered. So
But as far as the head was found quite a distance.
Quite a distance.
What was the distance approximately?
Several streets.
Blocks, yeah, blocks away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, again, were those parts placed apart from one another, does it appear, or were all the parts in one place and then?
We don't believe that they were carried by animals, if that's what you're asking. No. No.
Was there an effort to conceal any of these body parts? Did they bury them, cover them up with anything like that?
You were at the search. What do you think? I mean, I can tell you from being at the search for the head and marching down or climbing down this steep hill, there was no attempt to hide the head. As far as the body, I think the body was visible to the person that actually found the body. And originally he had thought that this was right after Halloween, and he didn't know if this was some sort of a prank or mannequin or something. And then the next morning, he had seen it the night before, and the next morning he reported the body. So I don't think a huge effort was made to conceal the remains.
So he saw the torso the night before. It wasn't discovered that morning.
He said that he thought he saw something the night before, but he discovered it the next morning.
I apologize if this has already been disclosed, and I just wasn't part of it, but who exactly or approximately found this body? Was it a hiker? Was it a...
No, somebody that lived on the street where the body was
what were
found.
they doing? Were they hiking?
I think they were walking to church, if I remember correctly.
Walking through the area.
Does that impact your estimated time of death at all?
No, at the time, based on the forensic pathologist's estimation and the condition of the body when the body was discovered on November 6th, that we estimated time of death to be sometime between late November 4th to sometime during November 5th.
Do you have a tox screen back?
We're still waiting for some of the laboratory studies to come back.
Can you talk about the hair? I mean, was it styled? Was it long? Was it short? That kind of thing.
Well, there was some hair remaining on the head, and it was short and curly, and either African-American or a mixed race African-American.
Was there teeth?
There were teeth.
Like all of them?
There were teeth. Yeah.
Captain Snyder, this might be a question for you, but as far as the searches in that area, the weather that we've had recently, is that going to have any impact on upcoming searches? And just talk about, how broad of an area that is being searched and how difficult that can be for.
Well, several questions there, but yeah, I mean, the weather obviously is going to play an impact. Thanks, Doctor. The weather will definitely play an impact on our ability to go out to that area, search again. We're just trying to be very methodical, work with Buckeye Search and Rescue, who does this work on a regular basis. They map these areas out through GPS. We can track where we've been, where we haven't been. So really, it's a case-by-case basis as far as how soon we can go back out there again, where we will search again, and how often we will do that. But we're going to continue to work this case in that way.
Are there other body parts still missing then?
I guess the simple answer is yes, we're still looking for body parts.
This clearly was some probably type of vulnerable woman. Has CPD proactively approached or communicated with organizations that help sex trafficking victims or abused women to try and positively ID this person?
Yeah, absolutely. Very much so, within our own resources, within the state, and then also with our federal partners in the FBI. So absolutely, we're looking at every possible connection.
And on that note, is there anything, I know it's been difficult to identify this woman, but just the condition of her body, is there anything to indicate that maybe she was homeless, maybe she was a prostitute, anything like that, anything that is giving you any kind of idea as to who this woman could have been?
Her body was in pretty good condition. She seemed like somebody who had been taking care of herself. So I couldn't speak to homelessness or anything else, but as far as the physical condition of the body, we felt that she was in very good condition, very good health. So this is still all very, very much a mystery. Her information has been entered into NamUs. We've been checking the NamUs databases to try and match up any of what we're finding on the body and head with information in NamUs to see if we can find a connection. But like I said, we will be reaching out to the forensic artist with BCI and working with them. And we're hoping that we'll have some sort of a sketch or a model for you in the near future. If we can't get any more information from the public, to call us with, or CPD or Crime Stoppers with any information, so that maybe we can identify her before we get a sketch.
Are you able to speak to
Anything
the
back on
likely time?
Genealogy part of it? Has it done some genealogy work and you put that into the system and you're working?
We have a DNA profile, if that's what you mean. We will be working, BCI has some connections with the genealogy experts that will try everything. I mean, we will be trying that as well.
Nothing on that at this point?
No, not at this point. No, it's too early.
Are you able to speak to the time frame in which you think she might have been pregnant? Does the updated estimation of her age impact that guess at all?
You know, at this point, you know, we know that she appears to have had a child, or at least been pregnant, whether the child was born or not. As far as how, you know, was it in the last couple, we think it was probably in the last couple of years. But again, it's, you know, it's hard to say without a little bit more specific information about her age and circumstances.
I know that Saunders had mentioned just kind of the hang-ups on, you know, weather and whatnot, as far as like your difficulties and hurdles that you have to experience trying to identify her. What sort of hurdles are you guys trying to overcome right now? I know that you're hoping for some reaction from the community, but what other sort of hurdles are you guys experiencing at the moment?
Well, I mean, we've followed up on any phone calls and leads that we've had, and none of them actually panned out with the information that we already had about the body. And, you know, maybe with more information put out there about the head that was discovered, which does belong to this body, we're hoping we'll get some more information. But that's kind of where we hit a dead end, because we've followed up on all the leads we've had so far and they haven't panned out. So widening that extent, you know, dealing with, like Captain Saunders says, as far as the trafficking associations, the women's advocacy associations, and just the geographical area that we're trying to cover and put the word out. We've put it out to a lot of different law enforcement agencies, and working with the FBI, they've put out the information to all of their partners as well. So the net has been put out pretty far and wide. We're just hoping that we get some answers.
The dental forensics part of this, I know it's probably more helpful once you get an identification or somebody. Is there anything that helps you with on this end of it where you're trying to identify the person?
Well, I mean, obviously we have dental images now, but if we don't know who she is, we don't know where to ask for dental records. And so unless somebody comes forward with some information about who she could be, and then we can make some requests for dental records.
Nothing outstanding about those dental records that would make
Nothing
anybody
specific.
think about, like, hey, that could be this person?
No.
Can you talk about the type of tips that have come in or inquiries from other states, cities, law enforcement?
I'm going to let Captain Saunders answer that. So.
Sure. Thanks, Doctor. So we run Crime Stoppers through the criminal investigation section. Crime Stoppers is a 9-county region for basically greater Cincinnati. So we'll take tips in that way. We work with different law enforcement agencies that know about our case and have come to us and said, hey, is this possibly your person? And those things have not matched up. Just like Dr. Sammarco said, we're looking at every possible lead. So can't go into any specifics about tips we've received, but none of those tips have led to anything actionable.
Can you go into the number, like, you know, we've received dozens or?
Yeah, I'd say dozens is fair. I might even be higher than that in total, because I'm looking at Crime Stoppers, maybe law enforcement agencies and us reaching out to law enforcement agencies back and forth, maybe a little higher than that. But we've received calls and information, but nothing that's been credible and actionable enough for us to say, yeah, this is the person we're looking for. And we're hoping for that, and that's what we're really asking for through you. Everybody knows the Crime Stoppers number, 513-352-3040. Get it out there. We appreciate your work on this as media partners. We can't reach the public just by ourselves. We have to rely on you contacting your audiences. So thank you for what you're doing and helping us get answers as well.
Any other questions?
Can you speak just one more time to the DNA question? A lot of our readers have asked to know, if you have the DNA, is it not just like in the movies or shows where you can just put it into a database and find something? Can you talk about, the complexity of that?
Sure, absolutely. The DNA database basically has approximately 10 million people in it right now. We have over 400 million people in the United States alone. So it's not like in the movies or TVs. It's not, you don't solve a murder in 42 minutes minus commercials. The information is put in, and then as other cases are processed and DNA is processed from other cases, if something hits in a similarity or a match, it'll pop up. The other way we use the DNA is if anybody calls in a tip and says, hey, I think it might be this person, we have some personal items of this person, and they can submit those to us. We can try and get DNA off of those personal items and see if it's a match. So that's a known sample match, which is at this point, since she's actually not in the CODIS, not in the national database, we're looking for a known sample match. Any other questions? Thank you all very much for coming and for helping.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Doctor.